Hey everyone, welcome back to some MTG Arena. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Historic and some more Mizzet, my favorite deck here. I'm just going to start labeling this Mizzet Mondays. It's my favorite deck to play and it's a great way to start off the week of recording. I have made a few tweaks again to the list since the last time that we played, just trying out some new tech as the format's changing a bit, so we want to try to stay relevant, get ahead and find things that work. The changes that we have made this time, the buy forces have been in here since the previous video, but we're looking at cutting the Vona a little, possibly for something, but we have added a Kiora and an Escape to the Wilds in the main now. So we trimmed down on one Uro for that, and we trimmed down on one Extinction event. We've been finding that the Deafening Clarion works just fine in most matchups. Having the one-off of Extinction event hit everything this doesn't is great. Plus we have some other spot removal stuff, Tyrant Scorn, Anger's Rampage, some Hand Disruption, Maelstrom Pulse. And then on the sideboard we have that extra Extinction event and whatever cards we need for the matchups that we're in. So those are the changes. Escape the Wilds, it is the only Gruul card that we have in here. So we can definitely grab it with Mizzet if it pops up. Plus, it's just another nice engine that we can top deck and play. Kiora triggers with pretty much any creature that we can play. It can trigger with this, it triggers every time with this, it triggers with this, it triggers if we put those two counters on the Night of Autumn. So there's a lot of things, obviously, to Mizzet. So she's also kind of a ramp spell. So we just wanted to try it out and see how it would work. We can also grab her with Mizzet. So that's the new tech that we have for now. There's been a rise and climb of these Mizzet decks that I've been seeing pop up, which is kind of cool. It's also kind of sad because I kind of like playing like a deck that nobody's really playing. We've been doing really good with the deck so far. As you'll be able to see, we have a 72% win rate with Mizzet since I've been using this, and it's been pretty consistently around 70% even prior to this. So this deck has... I don't know why that's there. Okay, so we're going to allow access to that. Yeah, the deck has carried me all the way back up to Diamond 1, Tier 1, so a couple more wins and we're up into Mythic, all thanks to Mizzet. So without any further delay, let's jump into some games. Hopefully we can at least win 2 in a row, jump up into Mythic, and then start some of a climb from there. It's taken me a little bit longer. I haven't been playing as much as I normally would, but that's not going to be the case. We're going to be playing pretty consistently going forward. I want to try to qualify for some of the the tournaments that they have on here. Since I'm not playing on paper anymore and haven't been for a little while, I've gone to some SCG tours and some Grand Prix and things like that. So this is kind of the next best thing that I can be doing without the travel, unfortunately. But it's a higher level competitive Magic that definitely can play at, and it's fun to play in. So that's gonna be the goal: is push forward and start qualifying for some of these tournaments. Okay, we can keep this. We'll lean on the Triumph. We'll end up grabbing a mountain and an island, most likely. So based on what the opponent does here, we can grab a mountain or an island. But I think I'm just going to grab an island. That way if we get like a growth spiral or something, we can just cast it. We didn't hit a growth spiral. Sure. Well, look, we didn't even need to grab a mountain. One just came right to us. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to shock this in. I'm going to play this for 2. Draw a card, gain a life, put a 2/2 on the battlefield. The opponent's probably got removal for it. It's totally fine. We're going to decline that. Nice. Sure, we have an answer for that. Nice. This deck just loves us. We just don't want them to untap and have a Krasis and then just blow up a huge Krasis. Alright, so we'll Maelstrom Pulse here. Go ahead and gain some life. The next turn we'll throw down Niv. Unless they top deck another Nissa. That's fine. I suppose either way, if opponent has Aether Gust, we lose. So they don't. It's good. So any removal spell or bounce spell we lose. Or Nissa. Yep. Alright, so they got us this game. Vraska's always good. We could always do the Uru exchange too. Sometimes in these matchups I'll bring in Grafdigger's Cage and board out some of my Uros, because a lot of times those Sultai Nissa decks are also playing Uro, and being that Uro and Nissa are really their only two win conditions, by shutting one of them off with Grafdigger's Cage is pretty huge, and we have so many other ways that we can get through and win, especially with Niv, that usually it's beneficial to us. But we are in the play, and I can get my Uro package going faster, so I think we're going to keep him in for this time being. Yeah, let's go from there. It's possible during the previous game, when I Angerus Rampage and stuff, I could have played the Niv Mizzet first. So it might have been correct to do that instead. Okay, so we'll play the Zagoth Triome, and then we'll shock in the Steam Vents to Growth Spiral and get ahead on mana, and then leaves us open to Thought Erasure the opponent. Just gonna do this now so we don't get shut off by something ridiculous. If opponent wants to Aether Gust us, that's fine. Alright, so we do this. Sure. Hmm. We can actually use that. Wanted to hold on to Maelstrom Pulse in case they hit a Nissa. Whichever they do, it's going to allow us to play our Ur out of the graveyard. They do have the Aether Gust there, which is unfortunate, but... Wow. Top deck of it. Alright. Opponent's in a pretty good spot here. I imagine they drew something to deal with it. Huh, there's the card we needed. It's a little late though. It's hard to imagine in this hand of 4 cards that they don't have an answer to deal with and Mizzet to win the following turn. But who knows? Maybe they don't. Oh, especially now with the Thoughtseize. This off the top we lose. Alright, well lands aren't going to cut it. Definitely need anything besides land. Oh, they got a crisis. That's not fair. Something big here. That's not going to do it either. Alright, we tried. So game 1 didn't go our way. And oftentimes, like I said, that's why I'll bring Uro out in those matchups, because their deck's like a little bit more focused on what they're doing. We're kind of widespread with the type of cards and threats that we have in there, so they generally are executing that Uro plan a little bit faster than we are. So they're a little bit more efficient at it. So if we can just kind of shut them off of that plan with the Grafdigger's Cage, it cuts out a large part of the nuisance that we have to deal with, which is the Sultai deck. But we'll get right back into game round number 2 and see how this goes. The matchups we have the best success with are the sacrifice decks, like goblin decks, anything like that. We do pretty well. We have lots of ways to shut all those decks off, which are played pretty well. Browntown we lose against more often than not, but since the addition of by force, I've actually won that matchup significantly more than I had in the past, which is really cool. As I said, that's a terrible matchup for us. So we have no blue mana, which is a little unfortunate. But we can keep this. We'll lean on the Triome and go from there. So so we're playing blue-white, most likely, like some blue-white control, which is just fantastic. I'm actually going to do this, so I can grab an island, and then we can... Oh no, I misread that. That was bad. I thought that was the Shockland. Okay, so we got a little punish there. But either way, we're going to still do this. Take a couple days off Magic. Celebrate a birthday weekend. And forget how to play Magic. Night of Autumn would actually be kind of cool. Take care of that search for Azcanta. Nice thing about Niv is it totally gets around Narset, which is totally cool. So we have to grow Spiral on their turn, so we don't get shut down by the Narset. Okay, I was hoping to draw a blue land there. It's a little unfortunate. Okay, well, unless they tap out, we're not playing Niv Mizzet. Okay. Teferi should come down this turn. Opponent's probably trying to figure out what we're doing. So we're going to play this knowing that they have the Absorb. Now opponent's got Absorb mana. Just gonna shock into here. Yep. So we're blue-white's in pretty much full control. We just have to like be able to resolve like a Niv Mizzet. But being that they're going to have so much untapped mana every single turn in a blue-white control deck with a search for Azcanta, it's very unlikely that we resolve any of our spells. But we gotta try, otherwise the game's just not going to go anywhere, so... We did need that. Oh, well I guess it doesn't matter, they just have infinite counter spells. Well, we're going to try to jam one. They're going to counter with the Essence Scatter here, and then we'll have to try to jam the other one, hopefully that they don't hit a counter spell is the big thing. Because otherwise, I mean, Teferi's probably going to ult most likely anyway. Unless we find an answer for it. Which is going to be very difficult to do. Top 4, yeah, he's probably finding a counter spell. Like, it's okay that that's the one that they found because Niv Mizzet can dodge that, but if they have an Essence Scatter, Neutralize, Absorb, anything like that, we're kind of in a rough spot. No way. Okay, so we lost this game. That last card had to not be a random counterspell he drew off the top, and they did. So that's not great. Knight of Autumn's actually okay. Helps us put something down on the board. Let me do one Autumn here. Like, Scarab God's okay, just because it, you know, blanks like the removal, their Shadow their Skies and stuff like that. Whenever they play them, it just doesn't really do anything, but to counter spells is kind of dead anyway, and it doesn't really pull much back out of the yard. Yorian's I'll tend, or Yasharn I'll tend to keep in kind of regardless in most matchups, just because it does fetch a forest or a plains, or a plains, which is great, especially since plains is very limited in our deck. We're kind of always digging for that. Okay, let's see if we can steal this game here. Losing 3 games today so far doesn't feel good. At least we can grow Spiral on our turn. Oops, I did not mean to click that. So we just lost 2 life for no reason. Okay, let's see if opponent has counterspell. Censor. Okay. forgot to see what I need. So we have white, we have green, we have black, we have red. Let's probably just grab a blue. Yep. Grab a little island here. Play this down. Bring Giganta in. I just don't feel like playing Escape the Wilds into a direct counter spell. Some Thought Erasures would be great, or a Thought Seize. Any of these things would be pretty good right about now. Problem is we're not getting them. Tef. Why else do you shock in an island or a land in a control deck on turn 5? So you can play Teferi cleanly. So they could have a Dovin's Veto, an Essence Scatter, or a Disdainful Stroke. So they could have a counterspell for everything that's in our hand, but we have to take care of Teferi here. Yep. Doesn't feel good, but of course they have another one. Could very well now have an Absorb. No, they do not have an Absorb. So we're going to take this opportunity to try to resolve this. Let's see if it goes. If not, we have another one. We have a Neuro. We needed that Thought Erasure. They probably have like a cast out or something like that to deal with Mizzet, so we can't kill the Teferi, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, Elspeth. Something to that effect. Sure, we'll just grab a island with that. Or sorry, a plains. We really needed a land. I want to make sure that they don't get Teferi back for free. So we're okay. Not in a terrible spot, not a great spot. We're doing okay. If I do this, I don't have the mana for a counter spell. I need another blue source, which I can't just get access to immediately. Let's attack. They'll make a 1/1. Okay, so that's what they're going to spend most of their mana on. That's fine. We have a forest and a mountain in there. So let's grab a mountain. Take some pressure off of that vents that we have there. Because now we can at least hold a veto. And go from there. Let's see what they're holding. Now again, could have held a veto to protect them. Is it there? Alright, they're just holding islands. That's good to know. So opponents in Scry in top deck mode. So if we don't get punished for erasuring there instead of holding a veto, then I think that we got this game. If we get punished, then we do, and that's probably a game. So let's go ahead and attack. Let's put a land on the battlefield. Can't play Uro, otherwise we won't be able to hold up a counter spell. Let's just do this. Sure. Can't let them have a card engine going right now. He's not going to grab a forest, but that's fine. So we still have a blue and a white available. Alright, that's it for the opponent. That's what we needed. Pretty much just run this back. I said really what we want to see is more thought seizes and thought erasures early so we can pick apart that hand a little bit and then resolve one of our threats. One of our card engines. Show me a Niv Mizzet and give me like 4 or 5 cards, I'm in. It's kind of rough. I'm not going to keep this. I keep a lot of hands that are pretty close, but that one I can't do. I actually think I'm going to put back Bona here. I want my lands. I have an Uro to help put the lands out faster. I have this, which is great. So Erasure into Titan. Maybe it gets countered. Yep. I kind of think we should play the Blood Crypt here so that way we can cycle the Triome. Because we have all the colors that we need and we grab a white with a Fabled Passage, so... This is where... oh, okay. Opponent knows that we're playing Dovin's Veto, so the big benefit here is that we can represent that we're going to be playing a Dovin's Veto. Now we have a veto, which is excellent. It's not a battle we had to fight, but I wanted to fight it, knowing that they might have like a Teferi coming down. They'd have to minus to get Jegantha off the battlefield, or have some other answer to Jegantha. It's harder for them to deal with a resolve threat, especially with 2 mana. take the pulse here? Well, I guess we could just resolve a Vraska, which is pretty good. It's close between the Veto and the Narset. Like, this just provides them more gas. I don't have any non-creatures that I'm going to be casting though, so I think we just take the Narset here. And that's fine too. His opponent's going to shatter here, get rid of our Niz. We'll draw a card. Okay, Aether Gust. That's pretty good too. Now they can Aether Gust our Vraska plus shatter this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's a threat that they're going to have to keep trying to deal with, which is not going to go well for them. Yep. Excellent. This is exactly what we wanted to draw here. Deal with that Dovin's Veto. Sometimes you just draw the cards that you want to draw. Sometimes you don't. Vraska kills people very, very quickly. You just come in plus or twice, then minus 10, put their life total at 1 and attack. Pretty straightforward Vraska. Just want to thin our deck here a little bit. It's pretty much like opponent has to have an answer for all three of these creatures this next turn or they lose. So if they have a Shadow of the Sky, yeah, we have a Crisis. We can draw plenty of cards. So they have to have like Shatter the Sky, or if they get cast out or cast away. Cast out is what it is. I always confuse the two. Sure. Okay, now we know it's there. Alright, we got there. Let's go on to round number 3. Hopefully we get some more success. It's pretty close match. We got blown out pretty hard in game 1 against them, but game 2 we clawed. Game 3 I felt like we were pretty much in control of most of the game. Okay, and let's jump right into match number 3. If we win this round, I might just go ahead and play another one to see if we can get into Mythic right here. Maybe we'll play a couple, we'll see. But hopefully we can win these next 2 this round, and then that'll prompt us to go into the next round. Yeah, we keep these. Alright, so we have to kill that right away. Let's see, if I play this, I untap that land, I get to play an additional land. Unfortunate there in the color combinations. I haven't seen this deck in a long time, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, we have an extinction event. I think I'm going to play risky here. So in this matchup, we're going to wind up bringing in like the Thoughtseize. Removal's good against, it's decent against them, but really we want to be picking apart their hand since they're just, essentially like a combo deck. Thanks, Cure, for the 3 life. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna bank on the fact we're gonna hit a land. We're gonna get a bunch of cards off Mizzet. Get rid of those. Okay. All right, I got there on that matchup. Yeah, I mean, Knight of Autumns are fine. I think that Cure might be a little slow for the matchup. Rampage is really good. I don't think we're going to need Crisis. But we do want Thoughtseize. We want Extinction Event. Kaya is okay too, in the sense that they do have like a decent amount of things that cost 1. And then exiling things from the yard is great too, considering that if you do remove their threats, a lot of the things that they wind up playing come from the graveyard. They have lures to get things back, and the enchantments that they have they can recur with out of the graveyard with the escape clause on those things as well. Clarion is a little less good than you would think, just because most of the time that they're just like pumping out that creature so high that they don't generally have a wide board, but it's still good to sweep out like the little like 1/1s that protect their threats. I don't think we need the Scarab God here. But I am going to bring Kaya in. I think that she can be useful here. Again, Knight of Autumn is okay too. It acts as a body. Hopefully we have some Thoughtseize or Thought Erasers in our opening hand. We want to be able to, like I said, just kind of pick apart the little things that they're going to try to do early is the big thing. Tyrant Scorn's okay also, so we can actually keep that. Okay, nice. We top decked a Steam Vents, which is good. We don't want them to draw 2 cards. Now we just gotta draw removal. So if they would have had any other enchantment to play besides the cartouche that gave them a 1/1, that would have been great. But they don't. So we need an extinction event off the top, really is what we need if we want to win this game. Or if we want a chance at winning this game. Otherwise, like a Tyrant Scorn would be great. So opponent might have everything they exactly need to win, if they have like anything that they want to do there. But we got to try to jam this, use it as a chump blocker against the core, and then hopefully we draw enough stuff to try to win the game here. Oh, no, they give it protection. They can just list any color, it doesn't matter. So, they got us there. But that's why it's so important to make sure you have hand disruption or removal right away in the game. Always take that play. It's not 10 out of 10 here, but it's serviceable. We don't have a plains, which is kind of unfortunate, but so plains is everything that we need. Yeah, plains is everything that we need. So maybe we'll get a passage off the top or something. Alright, then we got land screwed. Wow. Alright, walked into that. Didn't hit the land that we need. Now we really need a plane, so we can definitely Clarion here. That would be insane if we drew planes. Not the planes we needed, though. It is one. It's kind of too late, though. The opponent has a massive card advantage that they picked up there. They're just drawing all the enchantments that they need, so I'm sure that they have enough to kill us with the Spirit Dancer this turn. I'd be surprised if they didn't. You need 3 more damage. And I need a top deck and Extinction Event. Which we have a 2% chance to do, so we'll see. I think that's gonna do it. Because I only have 1 white source, so I can only cast 1 of these spells, and then nothing else does it. So opponent got us in game 3. I said not a matchup I see very often. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the mana that we needed. Otherwise, we probably could have taken that game. After that initial bouncing with the Tyrant Scorn, it planes off like untapped planes. I should have been more specific. Would have wiped the board and put us in a really, really good spot. We've claimed our prize. Alright, well let's jump in one last one here, and we'll see how we do for the day. So 2 and 1's not great, maybe we can go 2 and 2. Not sure if Kiora is right in the deck yet either. But so far she seems okay. Nice island you got there. Okay, this is going to be a tough matchup too. Seen a lot of weird decks today. Things that we don't particularly match up well against, but they're such a minority that generally it's not an issue. So if we draw like a blue source or something, we can like Thought Erasure plus Clarion and get rid of the Spectral Sailor. Sure. Now the mono blue is where it likes to be. 4 mana on board with a Spectral Sailor, nothing to worry about. Handful of counter spells and the ability to pay for and draw a card. Ideally, handful of counter spells. Not sure what they actually have. Yeah, that's fine. Now, there's a good chance opponent has counterspell. Also, they have the dive down, so they can prevent one of their guys from dying. Okay. So we got the other hand too. We gotta go this route. Hopefully they don't have a counter spell. I know that they have a Brazen Bar, they're just gonna pop it back to our hand anyway, but the life gain will get us somewhere for a turn. Oh no, they won't, because they'll just bounce cast, and that's 8 damage. So yeah, bounce 0, cast Brazen, swing 6 next turn. Okay, maybe not. Fighting a losing battle here. Opponent just has infinite access to cards. It's not anything that we wanted. No, they fooled me. They got it. Alright. The last hope was to bring back Rue out of the yard there. If we got the Surveil off, we would have been able to do it. But not there. So we don't want this, we don't want this. Escape the Wilds is never going to resolve. Scarab God's not great. Probably need some of those, like some of these. Somewhere around there is fine. Typically against more, you know, it gets kind of like this aggressive sort of like tempo control deck. I don't want to, I generally won't bring in Thoughtseize against them, but as long as we can get like a counter or something out of their hand, a lot of times it's enough for us to resolve a single threat and be able to pull ahead. We are on the play this time. Maybe we were on the play last time. Yeah, we were. Blue's just fast. I'm glad that people are playing it though. Blue's my favorite color, so seeing people rock a mono blue deck, awesome. Let's hope we can do this. Yeah, we're gonna pay 4 life and see what they got. Okay, so now we know that they're not playing their Merfolk Trickster or playing the Brazen Borrower. We're gonna look for something a little bit more interactive to play on this Triome. Sure, it's fine. I'll take a land. They could have like a Trickster and like tap down Giganta or something like that, so they're definitely options. Opponent did have a really great opening hand. Alright, we snuck one out, but mono blue on the play is kind of like mono red on the play, you know? I'm not sure that's going to go well for us. No. No, we do not keep these hands. I mean, if we had one more land, for sure, I would keep this hand. This is the kind of stuff we want, is that early interaction, but it's a little slow, but we got to keep it. I think we got to put Niv back. Kind of have to go for it here. I think Rampage is okay. Let's see. So next turn, we grow Spiral. No, I wouldn't be able to do that properly, but I think that we do need, I think we need some sort of removal. So best case scenario is that they would have put both the Curious Obsessions down on like Terramander or something. Alright, so they're definitely holding up Wizard's Retort. No, they're not. Well, they have a wizard now, I suppose. So... Alright, so we need to hit one of our threats. Now we need to hit like that Niv Mizzet specifically. Now we need a sweeper. Not a sweeper. Not a sweeper. That's game. Alright. So 1-3 today. Real bad. Dropped down to a 63% win rate here, but we have been doing really good. We'll continue to... Oh man, we dropped down to tier 2. That's no bueno. We'll work on that and get that right back up. The other decks I've been kind of playing is that Rakdos mid-range deck that you've probably seen lists of floating around. And then for fun, I've been playing a Shrines deck, which is pretty janky, but it's a lot of fun. Other than that, we're going to keep on pushing. We're going to get up to Mythic here real soon. Hopefully we'll have some videos up pretty soon of us in Mythic and then climbing our way through there. So, start of the week, not so great, but we have plenty more time to make up those losses. So, hopefully you enjoy the content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. And if you have any deck ideas or suggestions, I'm always happy to entertain those or check those out. Or whatever you're playing. Like if there's something that you find a lot of fun in Historic or Standard that you're playing, you know, give me a shout out and I'd be happy to try the deck out. Until next time, thanks for watching. Have a good one.